In the final hours of 1970, as the calendar prepared to turn toward an uncertain future, something extraordinary was happening in the sprawling factories of General Motors that would mark the absolute end of an automotive era. While most Americans celebrated the new year with champagne and resolutions, the assembly lines in Flint, Michigan, were rolling out the very last examples of what automotive historians now recognize as the final flowering of American luxury automotive engineering. Hidden among the massive production numbers of that pivotal year was a vehicle so rare and significant that fewer than 5,000 would ever exist, representing the spectacular conclusion of an age when American manufacturers could build cars without compromise, without apology, and without the crushing weight of regulations that would forever change the industry. And what made 1970 so shocking and unprecedented in automotive history? The answer lies in understanding that this single year represented the convergence of multiple automotive apocalypses that would forever transform the American car industry. The Clean Air Act had just been signed into law by President Richard Nixon on December 31, 1970, mandating a 90% reduction in vehicle emissions by 1975. Simultaneously, proposed federal rollover regulations threatened to make convertibles illegal, forcing manufacturers to make desperate decisions about their most glamorous and profitable models. Insurance companies were beginning to scrutinize high-performance vehicles, leading to skyrocketing premiums that price young buyers out of the market entirely. But perhaps most shocking of all was what automotive insiders already knew, but the public had not yet realized. 1970 would be the final year that American manufacturers could offer full-size luxury convertibles without the crushing burden of safety regulations, emissions controls, and corporate average fuel economy standards that would soon follow. The executives at General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler understood that they were witnessing the end of an era, though they could never have predicted how dramatically and quickly the automotive landscape would change in the years that followed. In this environment of impending doom and regulatory uncertainty, one vehicle emerged as the absolute pinnacle of everything American automotive engineering could achieve when freed from constraints. The 1970 Buick Electra Limited stood as the ultimate expression of General Motors' luxury philosophy, combining the most advanced engineering, the most powerful engines, and the most sophisticated comfort features available to American consumers. This was not simply another luxury car. It was a rolling statement of American technological supremacy and manufacturing excellence that would never be repeated. The Electra Limited's significance becomes even more extraordinary when we understand the mysterious circumstances surrounding its exclusive limited trim package. While the standard Electra 225 was already an impressive luxury automobile, the limited package transformed it into something approaching Cadillac territory for a fraction of the price. The limited trim had actually been introduced as an option on the custom four-door hardtop in 1965. But by 1970, it had evolved into something far more significant. For the first time, vehicles equipped with the limited package actually wore limited badges instead of the traditional 225 nomenclature, signaling their elevated status in the Buick hierarchy. What secrets lay beneath the hood of this automotive masterpiece? The answer reveals one of the most fascinating and mysterious chapters in American automotive history. The 1970 Electra Limited was powered by Buick's legendary 455 cubic inch V8 engine, but this was not just any 455. This was the premium fuel version, a power plant that existed for only 1 year in automotive history, making it one of the most coveted and mysterious engines ever produced by the division. The shocking truth is that this engine configuration disappeared after 1970, when General Motors was forced to reduce compression ratios to accommodate unleaded fuel, marking the end of an era when American engines could extract maximum performance from high-octane premium gasoline. The statistics surrounding this mighty power plant are nothing short of astounding. The 455 cubic inch engine in the 1970 Electra produced an incredible 370 horsepower at 4,600 revolutions per minute and an earth-moving 510 pound-feet of torque at just 2,800 revolutions per minute. To put this torque figure in perspective, it would not be surpassed by any production engine for over 30 years until the Dodge Viper's V10 finally exceeded it. The engine featured a bore of 4.3125 inches, or 109.5 millimeters, and a stroke of 3.9 inches, or 99.1 millimeters, creating a displacement of 7,468 cubic centimeters, or 7.5 liters. The compression ratio of 10.0 to 1 allowed this engine to extract maximum energy from the 100-octane premium gasoline that was readily available at service stations across America. This high-compression design, combined with a Rochester Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor and carefully tuned exhaust system, created a power plant that delivered both incredible performance and surprising refinement. The engine's massive main bearings measured 3.25 inches, or 82.6 millimeters in diameter, larger than those found in the legendary Chrysler 426 Hemi, providing the foundation for exceptional durability. But what made the Electra Limited truly extraordinary was not just its mechanical specifications, but its role as the final representative of a dying breed. 1970 marked the last year that buyers could experience the pure, unadulterated luxury of a full-size General Motors C-body convertible, making every surviving example a precious artifact from the end of an automotive epic. The production of these magnificent convertibles had been declining steadily throughout the late 1960s, as customers increasingly preferred the security and weather protection offered by hardtop models, but their complete elimination after 1970 represented a cultural shift that would forever change the American automotive landscape. Why was the limited package so exclusive and mysterious? The truth reveals a carefully orchestrated marketing strategy that positioned this vehicle as the ultimate expression of Buick luxury without directly competing with Cadillac. The limited trim added $318 to the price of an already expensive Electra Custom, bringing the total to well over $4,800, equivalent to approximately $35,000 in today's currency. For this substantial investment, buyers received 60/40 split front seats, with a center armrest, limited script badges on the roof sail panels, and an interior appointment level that rivaled luxury sedans, costing thousands more. The rarity of the limited package becomes even more shocking when examined in the context of total Buick production. The division manufactured a total of 666,501 vehicles in 1970, with the Electra series accounting for 150,201 units. However, the limited package remained exclusive, ordered by only the most discerning customers who demanded the absolute finest that Buick could offer. This exclusivity makes surviving limited examples among the most sought-after classics from the era, particularly when equipped with the one-year-only premium fuel 455 engine. The engineering sophistication of the 1970 Electra represented the culmination of over 5 years of continuous refinement since the third-generation Electra styling had been introduced in 1965. The vehicle rode on a 127-inch or 3,226 millimeter wheelbase, stretching to an overall length of 225.8 inches or 5,735 millimeters. This massive footprint provided an incredibly stable platform that delivered the renowned Buick ride that had made the division famous among luxury car buyers. The chassis featured a full perimeter frame with side rails for enhanced safety, a design that provided exceptional rigidity while maintaining the smooth, isolated ride quality that customers expected. The suspension system utilized all-coil springs with Buick's innovative AccuDrive variable ratio power steering system, which provided light effort for parking while maintaining road feel at highway speeds. The braking system featured finned aluminum drums as standard equipment, with optional Bendix 4-piston disc brakes available for those demanding ultimate stopping power. What luxury features set the Electra Limited apart from every other automobile on American roads? The interior represented a masterpiece of automotive luxury that showcased Buick's commitment to craftsmanship and attention to detail. The dashboard featured genuine wood grain trim that was actually a photographic reproduction of the elm wood used by Rolls-Royce, a detail that demonstrated Buick's aspiration to compete with the world's finest luxury automobiles. The seats were upholstered in either luxurious cloth with vinyl bolsters or all vinyl in a variety of colors, with the limited package featuring the most premium materials available. The power accessories list was exhaustive and included items that were considered extremely advanced for 1970. Power windows, power driver's seat adjustment, power door locks, and even a power antenna that retracted into the front fender were available. The climate control system featured automatic temperature regulation, a sophisticated system that maintained the desired cabin temperature regardless of outside conditions. The dashboard-mounted electric clock provided precise timekeeping, while the optional cruise control allowed for effortless highway touring. One of the most remarkable innovations was the concealed radio antenna system that was new for 1970. Instead of the traditional whip antenna that extended from the fender, key Buick engineers embedded 2 wires in the windshield glass, creating an invisible antenna system that maintained the car's clean exterior lines while providing excellent radio reception. This innovation demonstrated the attention to detail that characterized the Limited's development and would eventually become standard across the industry. The cultural significance of owning an Electra Limited in 1970 cannot be overstated. This vehicle represented the aspirations of the growing middle class, a symbol that demonstrated professional success and social mobility. During one of the most prosperous periods in American history, it was the car chosen by doctors, lawyers, and business executives who had achieved a level of success that allowed them to afford the finest domestic luxury automobile available. The deuce and a quarter nickname, derived from the car's 225-inch overall length, became part of American automotive vernacular. This affectionate term demonstrated the respect and admiration that these massive automobiles commanded, even among those who could not afford to own one. The Electra was often featured in popular culture, appearing in movies and television shows as the ultimate symbol of American prosperity and achievement during the height of the American century. The decision to purchase an Electra Limited was not made lightly, as the total cost with popular options could easily exceed $5,000, a substantial sum. The average household income was approximately $9,350. This meant that the Electra Limited represented more than half a year's income for the typical American family, making it a purchase that required careful consideration and significant financial commitment. But why did this magnificent era come to such an abrupt and shocking end? The answer lies in understanding the perfect storm of circumstances that converged in the early 1970s to forever change the American automotive landscape. The Clean Air Act of 1970 mandated dramatic reductions in vehicle emissions, forcing manufacturers to develop entirely new technologies, including catalytic converters, electronic ignition systems, and significantly reduced compression ratios. The muscle car era was simultaneously reaching its peak while facing unprecedented insurance costs that would eventually price young buyers out of the market entirely. The proposed federal rollover regulations created additional uncertainty for convertible manufacturers, leading many companies to abandon their drop-top models rather than invest in the expensive structural reinforcements that would have been required. The combination of regulatory pressure, economic uncertainty, and shifting social attitudes was creating conditions that would make the large, powerful luxury cars of 1970 increasingly difficult to justify, both economically and socially. The 1973 oil embargo would deliver the final blow to the era of unlimited automotive excess. When gasoline prices quadrupled overnight and long lines formed at service stations across America, vehicles like the Electra Limited, which typically achieved only 10 to 12 miles per gallon, or 23.5 to 19.6 liters per 100 kilometers in city driving, suddenly appeared almost irresponsible to own and operate. The performance capabilities of the 1970 Electra Limited were truly extraordinary for a luxury automobile of its size and weight. Contemporary road tests recorded 0 to 60 mile per hour or 0 to 96 km per hour acceleration times of approximately 8.5 seconds. Remarkable performance for a vehicle weighing over 4,300 pounds or 1,950 kilograms. The top speed was electronically limited to approximately 125 miles per hour or 201 kilometers per hour, though such velocities were purely academic, given the luxury orientation of the vehicle. More impressive than outright performance was the engine's ability to provide smooth, silent operation at highway cruising speeds, where the massive torque output allowed the engine to operate at low RPM while maintaining effortless acceleration capability for passing maneuvers. The transmission paired with this mighty engine was General Motors' Turbo Hydra-Matic 400, a robust 3-speed automatic that had been specifically designed to handle the massive torque output of the big block engines. The luxury appointments available in the Electra Limited represented the absolute pinnacle of American automotive comfort and convenience. The optional MaxTrack traction control system was one of the first electronic traction management systems offered on a production automobile. This system used sensors to detect wheel spin and would automatically apply the brakes to the spinning wheel while maintaining power to the wheel with traction, a technology that would not become common in other luxury cars for several years. The heating and ventilation system was remarkably sophisticated, featuring multiple zones and precise temperature control. The system could direct heated or cooled air to the windshield, dashboard vents, and floor areas independently, allowing passengers to customize their comfort level. The optional air conditioning system used a large compressor and evaporator that could quickly cool the massive interior, even in extreme summer heat. The trunk space in these massive automobiles was simply astounding, offering enough room for multiple sets of luggage for extended trips. The spare tire was a space-saver design that maximized cargo capacity while still providing emergency transportation capability. The trunk featured extensive soundproofing and high-quality carpeting, creating a space that was as well appointed as many vehicle interiors of the era. Today, the fate of the Electra Limited and similar luxury automobiles becomes increasingly tragic as we trace their decline through the turbulent 1970s. The oil embargo of 1973 created an immediate crisis for large luxury cars as gasoline prices quadrupled and availability became uncertain. Suddenly, vehicles that had been symbols of success became liabilities that their owners struggled to fuel and operate. The Clean Air Act requirements that took effect in 1975 forced dramatic reductions in engine power and performance. The 455 cubic inch engine, once the pinnacle of American automotive engineering, was reduced to just 205 horsepower by 1976 as compression ratios were lowered and exhaust emission controls were added. The smooth, powerful acceleration that had characterized the 1970 Electra became a memory as engineers struggled to meet the new regulatory requirements. The cultural shift that occurred during the 1970s also worked against large luxury automobiles like the Electra. The environmental movement gained momentum following the first Earth Day in 1970, creating a social stigma around gas-guzzling vehicles. Owners of large luxury cars were increasingly viewed as wasteful and environmentally irresponsible, a perception that accelerated the shift toward smaller, more efficient vehicles. Today, the surviving 1970 Buick Electra Limited models command extraordinary respect and admiration among collectors and automotive enthusiasts. These vehicles represent the absolute pinnacle of American automotive luxury, created during a brief moment when technology, craftsmanship, and resources aligned to produce something truly extraordinary. The combination of the one-year-only premium fuel 455 engine, the exclusive limited trim package, and the final year of C-body convertible availability creates a convergence of rarity and significance that may never be repeated. The build quality and attention to detail found in these vehicles represents a level of craftsmanship that has largely disappeared from modern automobile production. The extensive use of genuine materials, hand-fitted trim pieces, and individually adjusted components created vehicles that were truly assembled rather than simply manufactured. Each Electra Limited that rolled off the production line represented dozens of hours of skilled labor and careful attention to detail. The driving experience offered by a well-maintained 1970 Electra Limited remains unique in automotive history. The combination of effortless power delivery, supreme comfort, and impressive refinement creates a sensation that cannot be replicated by modern vehicles, despite their superior efficiency and technology. The car's ability to transport 6 passengers in absolute luxury while providing strong performance represents a synthesis of capabilities that reflected America's position as the world's dominant economic and technological power. The historical significance of these vehicles extends beyond their mechanical and luxury features to encompass their role as witnesses to one of the most important transitions in American automotive history. The 1970 Electra Limited represents the end of an era when American manufacturers could prioritize performance and luxury over efficiency and environmental responsibility. After 1970, the industry would be forever changed by regulations, economic pressures, and shifting social attitudes that made such vehicles increasingly difficult to justify. The legacy of the 1970 Buick Electra Limited extends far beyond its impressive specifications and luxury features to encompass its role as the final flowering of American automotive optimism. In an age of increasing complexity and compromise, these vehicles stand as monuments to an era when American engineers and designers could pursue excellence without the constraints that would soon dominate the industry. For those fortunate enough to experience one of these remarkable automobiles, the 1970 Electra Limited remains the undisputed pinnacle of Buick luxury and engineering, a mechanical masterpiece that captured the essence of American automotive achievement at its absolute peak, representing the last hurrah of an era when bigger was always better, and American automotive supremacy seemed as permanent as the Rocky Mountains themselves.